Okay, welcome everyone for this session today in Berlin. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are very happy to have you there. We are very happy to see some of the members of the EU blockchain community. That is always great to see you. I can see some people in the room who were there during the last workshops. That's always a pleasure to see people coming back to the different workshops. As you can see, some people had to cancel their participation for the workshop, so we are a bit less than what we were expecting. Let's look at this as an opportunity. This is an opportunity to have deeper discussions, to talk to each other and get to know each other a bit better. So thank you very much to all of you who are here today in this room for this Scalability, Interoperability and Sustainability workshop for the EU Blockchain Observatory and Forum. So today we are going to cover this topic, which can be seen a bit as a technical topic, but actually this seems very natural to cover this topic today because, as you all know, as you're working in this industry, the blockchain industry has been maturing a lot since the last few years, starting a few years ago with a phase where a lot of businesses and a lot of organizations were trying to understand what are the actual benefits of blockchain technology, what we can achieve with that, and what are the new businesses we can create. And this was really the beginning of the development. This is when blockchain became a buzzword. And now we are moving toward the more action for blockchain technology, putting all these ideas into action, into real projects. And this means that we had some phases, of course, in 2013 and 2017, where we had projects and businesses trying to experiment with blockchain and trying to find out if that was a good technology to use for them. And some of these companies actually decided this year that, okay, blockchain is going to be huge. The benefits for our business are very important. And so they made the bet to create large-scale projects. And this you have seen, I'm sure, in the news. A lot of different projects have announced large-scale blockchain applications. We can have some in mind. Comgo, for example, has been announced recently. And we see this trend really coming to create large-scale applications. But what large-scale application means is that in 2019, when we are going to have all these projects that are being built right now, that we go live actually, these projects will have to face a lot of difficulties that they have to solve right now. And this is why today what we are going to see together are mainly these questions and these challenges that are faced by all these projects. We are going to see from their perspective what they are, what are the solutions they are trying to find out to actually answer these issues, and what could be shared as a knowledge between all these different projects. And we are very lucky here today to have a panel discussion with people from really great projects that will share with us today their inputs on what they are working on right now. What we see in the horizon today from the community perspective, and we would be happy to discuss that with you, but what we see right now is that we are moving towards a world where there is not a single blockchain that is used for everything. It is becoming clear that using a single blockchain for everything is not the most efficient way to create solutions based on blockchain. And what we are actually seeing is that we see more architectures with a central layer that is surrounded by very efficient, specialized blockchain networks. And these networks are specialized for their business cases. They are very fast, they scale very easily, but they are not very decentralized. And this issue is actually answered with the use of a first layer of blockchain that really acts as backbone for this technology. And the question that raises from there is, how do you make this ecosystem of different blockchains that are here for different use cases, that are not technically exactly the same and that are not exactly working in the same way? How do you make these blockchains interoperate? How do you make your solutions scale? And how do you take into consideration topics such as sustainability to make your solutions efficient and to make your solutions easy to maintain? So these are really the questions that we are going to cover today. You will see that today most of the topics we will cover will mostly come back to this architecture, so it's important for you to familiarize with this architecture. And we will be starting the day today with a presentation from Arthur Gervais from Imperial College. I'm sure some of you already read the draft of the paper that was sent around last week. If you have not, please do so. This is a very interesting paper, and this will be shared publicly in the coming weeks once it gets finalized. For those of you who have already read the paper and maybe have some question to ask to Arthur, please do so. This is a great opportunity. There is not a lot of you in the room, but so you have the opportunity to directly reach out to Arthur and exchange on this topic, and Arthur will be coming on stage in a few minutes to discuss all this. As I said before, we have this panel discussion. Really the goal here is to share what are the main challenges that are facing industry players. And the four people here, Gilbert, Peter, Jesus, and Cyril, will be sharing their views on this topic, and we'll be discussing that all together. And in the afternoon, we'll be shifting a bit the debate and having more a discussion between all of us, starting with the presentation. And really the discussion for this afternoon is to talk about how to make solutions, decentralized applications that can scale and that are interoperable. The scheme I was showing you right here, actually this is the vision, and I think a lot of people in this room can recognize and can agree at some point on this vision, the fact that we are going to have some kind of network of different blockchains. But here, the questions that we are going to answer today is how to get there. This is really what is important, because this is what is difficult. Imagining this kind of architecture is kind of simple, but actually implementing this kind of architecture is where the challenges are, and this is what we are going to answer today together and try to discuss. So thank you very much for being here again. Very happy to have you there. I hope you will enjoy your day. You have some drinks here if you want at any time. Please feel free to do so. We will have some nice lunch on the right after it. So without further ado, let's start the session. Please welcome on stage Arthur Gervais. Big round of applause for Arthur.